Today I'm going to be giving a quick rundown of how to adjust V-brakes. What I have here today is a 2001 standard 125R with some Shimano XTR brakes. And what's going on here is the one side, particularly the left side, is moving. And the right side's got no action there. So I do a couple of things when I'm doing brake service. First thing I do is I make sure that the arm actually is free. So what I'll do is I'll take and loosen up these 5mm bolts in here and just make sure that this arm isn't dragging and it's not over tightened or it's not binding in there. So I'll make sure that that's nice and loose in there. That feels really good. The second thing that I do on these is I'll loosen up the pads, loosen them up, push the lever against the rim, retighten it just so it basically self-centers the pad so it's not cocked one way or the other. And then if the free play is alright, in this case free play is pretty good. I like between like a 3/16 quarter of an inch free play in it. That all looks good. So the basic theory on the V-brakes is there's a spring, like a coil type spring in here with a little Phillips head adjuster in here. And whether you have like Shimano, Cane Creek, Diacomp, Odyssey, any of the V-brakes, the basic principles are the same. So what we're going to do here is basically get the springs to work in unison together so that they're equally spaced out and they're working together. So in this case, the right side's not moving, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adjust the spring rate on the right side here. Just going to set my camera down and get this baby adjusted. So we're going to adjust the spring. You turn it clockwise to get the spring tension tighter on this right hand side here. I went about almost a full turn here, so it's pretty soft. You don't necessarily want to go too far, because then this one will overpower the other one, and you just basically want them to close together and want your wheel to spin freely. Another thing that I do is you can adjust the slack out of the brake system if you like your brakes tighter. There's a couple of ways of doing that. The first way would be taking the cable and pulling some of the slack out of it on this little adjuster here, but I like the free play that's in it. If you want to dial them in a little bit nicer or get them a little bit tighter, you have this front turnbuckle here adjuster, and you can just spin that guy out to take some of your free play out of it, and that works pretty stellar. Also, just a real quick tip that I like to use on my cables. Inox stuff is amazing. It's got a nice little injector nozzle here. Put it in your cable. It's kind of hard to get, but it is well worth every bit. Keeps my cables running really good. So that's all I got for today.